It is a story about a girl. Let's call her Amara. Amara wasn't lazy, she wasn't unserious. She wasn't unserious about her dreams. But Amara could never stay consistent. She would start something, a business, a project, a course, and somewhere between month 1 and month 3, she would disappear. Not because she didn't care, but because life kept pressing on her from every angle. No financial security, no stable backing, no if anything goes wrong, I am safe. Hear me out, children of grace and questionable decision makers. Welcome to DearChoice, where we overthink on purpose. And since you're here and I'm here, let's start. Who is that? Who is it? Oh, one overthinker spotted. Come in here. Today, my fellow overthinkers, let me tell you a story. It is a story about a girl. Let's call her Amara. Amara wasn't lazy, she wasn't unserious. She wasn't unserious about her dreams. But Amara could never stay consistent. She would start something, a business, a project, a course, and somewhere between month 1 and month 3, she would disappear. Not because she didn't care, but because life kept pressing on her from every angle. No financial security, no stable backing, no if anything goes wrong, I am safe. And people would say, you just need discipline. You just need consistency. Wake up by 5 a.m., read more books. But nobody ever asked Amara one question. How do you stay disciplined when your mind is not secure? Here is what nobody tells you. It is easier to preach discipline when you have support. It is easier to talk about consistency when you have financial backing. You have emotional stability. You have somewhere soft to land if things fail. Many success stories come from people who didn't start at 0. They may not have been rich, but they had some form of security. And security gives the mind room to focus. But what if you don't have that? What if you look left, no help? You look right, no help? You look up, silence. You look down, nothing. Now discipline becomes psychological warfare. Amara's real issue wasn't laziness, it was insecurity. When your mind is unsettled, you cannot execute long-term plans because somewhere in your subconscious, you're thinking, what if something happens tomorrow? What if my family needs me? What if money runs out? What if this fails? You cannot build consistency on top of panic. Discipline requires mental stability, and mental stability requires one thing: clarity. The turning point for Amara was not motivation, it was honesty. She sat down and asked herself, what is my real situation? She realized there is no emergency fund. There is no major financial backup. If something goes wrong, there is very little she can do. Here is the powerful part. Instead of letting that paralyze her, she defined it. She said, if this happens, this is the limit of what I can do. If that happens, this is as far as I can go. She stopped pretending she had control over things she didn't. And when you define your limits, something powerful happens. Your fear loses ambiguity. Now your mind is calmer. Now you can plan. One of the biggest killers of discipline is comparison. You go online, you see people driving luxury cars, launching businesses, traveling, scaling brands, and subconsciously you think, I'm behind. But you don't know their financial backing. You don't know their family structure. You don't know their private struggles. Neither do you know their true timeline. Comparison shrinks you, and a small mind cannot build consistent systems. Discipline is not built on envy, it is built on self-awareness. When Amara finally set a goal again, she changed one thing. She stopped expecting overnight transformation. She told herself, this may take 1 to 3 years. Results might be slow. Grace can happen, but I will build systems. Unrealistic expectations destroys consistency. If you expect results in 3 months and they don't come, you relapse. You go back to self-sabotage, panic decision, jumping from one idea to another. Consistency thrives on realistic timelines. Here's another truth people don't like. You can be talented at something and still hate it. You can be average at something and love it deeply. Amara realized she was chasing things that made sense, not things that made her happy. It is easier to discipline yourself around what brings you joy. It is easier to stay consistent at something that energizes you. Trends don't sustain consistency, joy does. Not every home understands vision. Not every environment nurtures growth. People celebrate results. They rarely respect the grooming season. So sometimes discipline looks like this: leaving the house to work somewhere quiet, protecting your ideas from negative commentary, building in silence. You don't need to move out if you don't have the means, but you need mental distance from environments that shrink you. Discipline is not emotion, it is structure. Amara created a weekly plan, a daily schedule, work time, rest time, learning time, prayer time, reflection time. At night, she would ask, "What did I complete today?" And even if it was small, she acknowledged it. At the end of the week, she rewarded herself, because your brain repeats what is rewarded. Here is the deeper psychology. Discipline is easier when the brain feels safe. If you don't have external security, you must create internal security. How? Define your limits. Accept what you cannot control. Build systems instead of fantasies. Remove comparison. Choose joy-based execution. Protect your environment. Security is not always money. Sometimes it is clarity. So, my fellow overthinkers, if you've struggled with consistency, maybe you're not lazy, maybe your mind has just been unsettled. Define your reality. Stop comparing. Build realistic systems. Choose what makes you alive. Protect your environment. Reward progress. Discipline is not magic. It is clarity plus structure plus time. And when you build it slowly, you become unstoppable. I am DearChoice, and you know, on this channel, we overthink together. If this connected with you, please do well to like, to share, and to subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. But for now, bye-bye.